Hello, it is an early morning in August in New Jersey 2022, and I'm doing a tag about plant decks, which I found while I was eating my breakfast, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm going outside, I'm gonna make this tag. So I threw a bunch of things in my box, and I came out here to share them with you. So here we go, plant decks. I have a few. So that's why I'm outside in my garden to do this. All right, the first one I'm going to start with is the one that I think a fair number of people have. It's the HandCrafters. It's the HandCrafters Tarot, plain. I'm near the Newark airport, so we'll probably hear some of those. Also a private airport, Teterboro. Sidebar. Did you know that private planes are a really big issue with climate change and, pollution? They're a real problem. So, okay. Maybe those rich people could just fly like the rest of us. Anyhow, little political message there. Well, if you like plants, you care about these things. So this is the HandCrafters Tarot. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why I have all these reversals in my decks when I start to show them. I think it's beautiful. I really enjoy the palette that's used. It feels light and airy, and even the darker images do. So this is absolutely one of my favorite cards in here. I also like this Lover's card. I had that separate because I was using it for something. Definitely one of my favorite decks of all time. I can't say enough good things about this. It has, of course, I kind of know a lot of information about what's in here because I took a really cool class a long time ago. Gosh, almost 30 years ago now. I took a class and earned a little certificate in herbalism. But the HandCrafters Tarot has a really excellent guidebook that gives you ideas for crafting if this is something you've not done before. It lets you just sort of dip your toes in it with some ideas that are they're not really complicated, and you get a lot of information about the plants. So, and then this is, my original pairing was the HandCrafters and this one, the Souls. And I'm going to link the names to everything down here. Again, a beautiful, light, airy, I believe these are watercolors. And the backs of these cards vary, so that's kind of an interesting change from the usual backs that are all uniform. And I will link. So this is just, I bought this one, this is indie. I have not touched the mass market, so it could be the mass market doesn't have the different backs. I do not know. But it's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and more affordable now that there's a mass market version. And it's got these nice, it has a very simple keyword and then an explanation. And I have to say I found it sort of enlightening because I wouldn't necessarily have put these keywords with these particular plants, and so it kind of gave me a different perspective on what these different plants are. Okay, this one, wow. Okay, this is the Glowwood Oracle. Now this is a completely amazing system. I can't say enough good stuff about this stuff. So it's not just plants, it's also insects, and it's just about the natural world of the, I would say, forest. I guess we could say forest or the wood. So there's trees and all this, there's a lot. It's how everything interacts. It's this web, the network. These are what these cards look like. So here's the back. Here's the front. I have talked about this in other videos. I can't really remember what I said. But Kelly at Truth and Story did an excellent two-part walkthrough of this deck. It's got a lot of symbolism. There are symbols in the margins here that mean things, and how different cards relate to each other, as well as how they relate to the entire ecosystem. it's just an amazing deck, which it takes hours and hours of study to figure it all out. I suppose you might be able to use it to just pull a card and read that card, but you get much more out of it if you understand the whole system. And so yeah, it's a good book. I think in the last video, so you may have heard me say this before, that I believe she's probably going to redo this deck. There are things in there that could be changed to make it easier to read. I think that there will be further editions, but I'm happy to have the first edition. Okay, this, oh gosh, I think it's the Celtic Oracle. I forgot to bring the book out with me, but I'll get the correct name in the thing below. So this is this really cute little teeny deck, and I bought it from Dawn Michelle over at Boho Tarot. Got that cute little bag with it. So it has the Oghams on it. It was my first introduction to the Oghams, and it was kind of fun to have them associated with a tree. The book does give you some very good information. I kind of look at this as more of a intellectual deck. I don't get any intuitive hits off of these cards at all. But they are beautiful in their own way. This limited palette sort of forces you to look at shapes and details. I don't know, maybe I'll get intuitive hits one day. But a lot of these trees I have around me, I live there's a park right down the street. I'm really blessed. So I can see these trees. All right, here's another very popular one, the Botanical Inspirations. I'll be honest and say I don't use this very often. I kind of got it because everybody's like, it's so green. They kind of squeal over it a little bit. I don't blame them. It feels old-timey, you know, OLDE. It's an old-timey thing. I think if you wanted to maybe tap into some more established, orthodox, traditional meanings and uses of flowers, then this would be a good one. There's nice quotes on it. I'm saying a lot, sorry about that, but I'm trying to think of what to tell you about why I don't use this that much. I think it's because for me, plants, the world, it's this living world that's around me, and I feel the spirits of it, and this feels a little too limiting for me, a little too greeting card-ish. But I think that's what appeals to a lot of people. So it's not a bad deck, I'm not saying that. I'm trying to put my hands on why I don't resonate with it as much. I think that's it. It's a little greeting card-ish for me when I think of the plant world as like this living, breathing thing that I have a relationship with. All right, the Flowers of the Night Oracle. This is something I have a mixed relationship with. I'm not sure about this deck. Every time I take it out to use it, and people get it for use in the cold winter because it's dark, and every time I take it out to use it, I'm not that comfortable with it. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out, and I haven't used it enough because I do have this discomfort with it. And it is mostly plants, but as you saw, there are some animals, right? Like we've got a night animal here. And I really don't know what that is. That critter. I mean, I can see that that's a cat of some sort, but I guess maybe some of the meanings, like again, I know what these plants are, so I'm like, night blooming, what does that have to do with understanding? So I suppose I just have to suspend my own understanding of these things. to see if it works. I don't know. I haven't given up on it. It has gone on and off of my rehoming pile. All right, here's a deck that I really, really like. This one, the Wisdom of the Trees. It has this really cute little box. It slides open. So, like, that is one of the problems with this, the Celtic trees, this little guy. It's like the book is probably about that size, a little hardbound book, and this is the deck. So it's like you have to keep them like in two different places, and this, you just pull it out and everything is in one place. So that's handy. So this is created by Jane Struthers, who is a astrologer who studies tarot, and I don't know, she kind of came up with this thing. And I just think these images are beautiful. I really enjoy this. It pairs well with, oh wow, that one that's the foresty deck that's got all the fairy tales. Tell you what, getting older is hard. All right, I'll link it below what this pairs with. If I had just made this in my room, I could have pulled it out. But it pairs well with a couple of sort of Druid, Celtic, those kinds of decks. It looks good with those. And I love the images, and I love the book, although sometimes I just don't use it. But here's what it looks like. So it gives you a nice amount of information about the tree, and you know, you can do reversals with this, which is interesting. You can't do that with a lot of oracles, and it gives you the proper Latin name, so it's good. You know, maybe also it's, you know, it's like it's got a diva message in this one, so I think that's another reason, like why I was saying the botanical doesn't resonate with me. Here we've got a diva message, so yeah, that makes sense. An oak diva message. Yeah, oaks are like, I just want to go up and hug them. So if it says, I am strong and steady, I'm an essential part of the age-old mysteries of the forest. If you call on me, I can give you outer physical power and inner emotional strength whenever you need them. Let me show you the way. And for me, that's right. I can go hug an oak tree. I'm good. I feel like I can handle it. So yeah, this one really works for me. Here is one that I got because I was all enthusiastic when it came out, and I did a couple of online things with the creator, and then I did Rebecca Campbell, and then I didn't really get to know the deck. But whoops, showing you the wrong. That's the back. Here's the front. So in this one, a lot of people like Danielle Noel's artwork, Rebecca Campbell partnered with her on her other decks. But this one is a different kind of energy. I still like this artwork very much, but I'm just giving you the heads up. It doesn't look like her other decks because she has a different artist with this one. And the artist is, okay, she did collaborate with her very closely. Katie Louise, I think. I think it's worth mentioning the artist because I don't like it when we don't credit the artist. And it's, oh yeah, it is Katie Louise, artwork by Katie Louise. So I think it's very beautiful and soft, and it feels loving to me. It has a lot of positive messages, but it has some that, you know, little warnings, you know, the thorn, kind of obvious. What else would a thorn do but create boundaries and, you know, send a clear message of protection. It's very humid right now. Can you see how it's making my paper? The paper of the cards is bending because I'm outside, but that's life. It'll go back when the humidity drops. This is the life of wood and paper. All right, this is another one that I really enjoy very much. The Illustrated Herbiere, which is part of a trio, Herbiere, Bestiary, Crystallary by Maya Toll, and illustrated by Kate O'Hara. And I love these illustrations. I love the vibrancy. I love the depth of the color. I just think these are fantastic. And I didn't bring the guidebook out to show me, but the guidebook is very nice, and it not only gives you information about the message and the plant, it also sort of gives you some ideas of things to do. So if you like those kinds of decks, this one is good. Right. This one also has got like 2 different versions of it out there. And we're still going. You know what? Let's talk about this one, Oak Ash and Thorn. This is my cute little Peggy bag that it's in. So Oak Ash and Thorn, there are so many videos out about this that I'm not going to talk too much about it. And some people might say, that's not really a plant deck, but for me it is. Excuse me. It doesn't come with a book. It comes with these little cards. So here we go. If you haven't seen the images before, I would suggest that you watch a video of this one, Oak, Ash, and Thorn, somewhere online. But you can see that plant life, well, it's in the title and it's in the images. The plants play a really important part of telling the story of the different cards. And it's just beautiful. It's beautifully, beautifully, beautifully illustrated. Definitely one of the most gorgeous decks that I have. I forget the guy's name. Let's see. Hopefully they put it on one of the cards so I can give him props. Nope. All right, I'm going to have a lot of work to do in the comment section below so I can credit everybody, all the beautiful, wonderful artists who worked on these decks. This is one of the first Oracle decks I got. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, Roots and Wings. I got this in the mini tin version. I wanted a little Oracle deck that I could use for travel, and it works really well for that. So it is called Roots and Wings. There aren't plants in everything, but there's enough plant life in here that I think of it as a plant deck. Now that I'm going through it, I'm just wondering if that was like some weird thing that was happening in my mind that I'm thinking it's a plant deck. No, okay, I'm not crazy. Well, I may be crazy, but not about this. So yes, there is stuff in here. There are things. Well, that was one of my favorite cards. So yes, I think this is a beautiful deck, and the back is very plant-like. So okay, I may have stretched it a little bit to include Roots and Wings, but there it is. And I think it's a great deck. I really, really like it. And I love the little mini in the tin. It's so easy for me to take places. And it pairs with almost everything. It's a really lovely one. Okay, here's another one that's kind of on the line. Is this really a plant deck? But how could you ignore all the plant life that's in this deck? So this is Marjorie Jones, aka MJ, and Collinane. Sorry, MJ. So again, plants are just interwoven throughout this. It's really a part of the story of the deck. Like, how could you ignore the fact that there are all these roots and roses, and the bees are on the roses? Like I said, the plants are everywhere, 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 everywhere. So I feel like this should count. I think this counts. You may disagree with me. I don't know, but I think it does. So I love this deck. This is interesting. As I'm talking through the decks, I can see that there are some that I definitely like more than others. All right, and this is a relatively new-ish deck. And this one, there are also a ton of walkthroughs about this. So this is Fez Inc, right, is the creator. Some people hate the box. I think it's fascinating. I kind of love it. Okay, now not a plane this time. Now it's the recycling truck coming by. Truck. So if you're not familiar with this one, There are 2 guidebooks, one for dawn and one for dusk. So depending on when you're using these cards for reading, you would use a different guidebook. I wonder if I should just wait for the recycling to go by. Sidebar, the recycling truck right now is picking up my yard waste for composting. So yeah, what was in my bin out there was, I pruned the rose bushes yesterday. That's a tricky job, talk about thorns. Okay, so here we go. Oak, willow, datura. So this one, look how beautiful that wisteria is. Just gorgeous. And the bluebell, and the cherry, rowan. You can see, I think, why so many people went crazy for this deck when it came out, because it was just gorgeous. And if you're not familiar with it, just, do a search, Seed and Sickle, and you'll find plenty of walkthroughs and detailed reviews, people that love it and why they love it. So now you see my version of it. Okay, so I think that's kind of it. I loved this tag. If you have some plant decks that you really enjoy, join in the fun. This is a good tag. And if you do the tag, leave me a comment below so I can go watch your video. Okay, you know the drill. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's going to improve the algorithm so you get things that you like coming in on your feed. And if you're interested in my content, then think about joining me on Patreon. You get readings every month and lots of goodies and support. All right, have a great day. Find something beautiful, preferably out there in the natural world. You gotta laugh at yourself, right? Bye-bye.